Hello and welcome to Brothers Forge Gaming. Today we are playing Horizon Chase Turbo on the PS4, which is available as a download and also one of this month's free games to PS Plus members. If you're a fan of racing games of old, then stick around and check out one of the best games in its class. Horizon Chase has a feel similar to Rad Racer or Outrun, much like many 8 and 16-bit consoles. And let me tell you, they're not lying when they use the term turbo in the title. This game is fast. Stay with us and see for yourselves what Horizon Chase has to offer, as I will be going over all of the unlockables, modes, and extras that can be found within the game. Also, I will be covering some of the more difficult trophies to obtain when going for the Platinum, and tips and tricks on how to get it done. As you can see here are some of the different modes. We're going to get into all this different stuff, guys. We're going to take a look at each and every detail here. Here is some DLC coming. I wasn't sure if that was going to affect the Platinum trophy, so I went ahead and finished that off last night. I did want to do that on air. I thought that would be fun, but, you know, a lot of times that doesn't work out. But, oh well. Anyhow, we are going to just briefly kind of just zoom around here. And some of these, well, we'll just start with California. Why not? Some of these tracks get really hard. So as you can see, each one of these you can, there's different 2 or 3 races in each one. I'm not going to go over every track. Some of these courses are harder than others, which brings me to the trying to win all these races. Winning doesn't come easy in Horizon Chase, and it is really a test of your skills or patience. It is almost has a pay-to-win feel. Progressing the game seems to rely heavily on the need to unlock the next car and upgrade. To me, this felt like a cheap way to increase the replay value, but wasn't completely without merit. The tracks are unique, well-designed, and exhilarating. It's almost a shame you can't peel your eyes off the screen long enough to take in the scenery. This can also be problematic when trying to check the UI, which for me is spread too far out. The AI is much like something you would encounter in a game from the 80s or 90s. I couldn't tell if this was done on purpose to create a feeling of nostalgia for us old school gamers or just poor programming. Either way, it could sure get frustrating at certain points in the game. This brings me to helpful tips for mastering the track. I guess we'll just go to a different spot here. Some of the races in Australia were really fun. So, you know, as you can see here, so you get the gold. What you see there is the super trophies with the blue. It's when you get all the coins and place first. Cool thing about this game as well is it is co-op. You can see those 4 icons down the bottom just has the 1, but you can do some co-op with that. Right now, we'll just, you know, like I said, here's some of the different courses. There are times, there's leaderboards, very cool. It shows you the number 1 on there. You can turn the ghost car on and off to show that. I usually raced with it off because it was I don't know, I found it made it harder. It kind of got in the way somehow. I don't know. Anyway, but there is a trophy for beating a ghost car, something like that. So look into that. Anyway, there are several annoying tendencies within the game. One being that the AI is set to almost a certain pace. The lead car can only get so far out in front. I have heard this referred to as rubber banding. This can, however, be used to your advantage. Don't think you have to be in first place all of the time to win the race. In fact, that is almost never the case. Another troublesome issue is how difficult it can be to pass other cars. The best way I have found to be successful is to use a car with superior handling and take advantage of the corners. One nice thing about this game is that you don't have to place first to unlock the next race. But if you're going to be going for the Platinum, eventually you will need to place first on all the tracks. That being said, don't kill yourself trying to get super trophies right out the gate. It is much easier to go back and clean up a course once you have unlocked more powerful cars and upgrades. Now let's talk about some trophies. Most of these trophies you're gonna get, and I don't mean these trophies here, I'm talking about the trophies for the PlayStation Network. Most just by playing the game, but there are some that are slightly more challenging to achieve. The method I used to work towards Platinum status was a slow and steady approach. I have started by just simply qualifying in each race in order to unlock the next. If I got a gold, great. If not, I knew going back with a better car later would be much easier, which it was. After beating the game, tournament and endurance modes will open up. Completing these modes will only be necessary if you are going for Platinum, but can certainly add value to the game. By getting gold in each race of the circuit, you will unlock more cars. By getting gold in all of the races and all of the circuits, you will again unlock a car. Only this time you will be unlocking the ultimate machine, Machina. Real catchy name there. Machina seems to be the best all-around car, and is the car I use to complete the rest of the game. Moving forward, I then went on to attempt to beat tournament and endurance modes, but I did have some difficulty in doing so. This led me to think that I needed to go back and complete all super trophies to get the next car. While this may have helped me get better at the game, it wasn't entirely necessary. Although the car I unlocked was super freaking sweet. Let's just go take a look. So that's World Tour. You want to beat that. That's going to be, you know, you're going to spend your majority of your time beating these races. Like I said, go forth, beat all these races, unlock each race, and then once you get better, in each state or circuit, whatever you want to call them, each country, each area of the world that you're racing in, you get these upgrade races. So once you've gone and you have to place, I believe, 3rd or better to get the upgrade in those. Once you've gone and gotten all those upgrades, unlocked whatever cars you're going to unlock, go back and get those. It's going to be much easier doing it that way, was what I was getting at there. So let's go take a look at tournament mode. You have these 3 different layers here. So we'll take a look. We'll just take a look at amateur. Amateur, it's amateur is what it is. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't difficult. There wasn't anything too challenging in that. So in tournament, the races seem to be all but random, and my best advice is to just grind, grind, grind. As you can see here, you want to get the gold in each one. So like I said, just start with this one, play it till you get the gold, go to the next one. If you skip around, I kind of did that because I get bored playing the same tracks like over and over, but it did make it harder. So eventually when I did go back, I had to just sit there and play it again. So my best advice to you on that is just sit there and grind it out till you get the gold on that. Tournament mode was by far the most challenging part of the game, but it is not completely unobtainable. As for endurance mode, it is much different beast. It becomes more of a numbers game, but it is not as difficult as it is time consuming. Again, I used Machina for all endurance races. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Machina? I don't know. Anyway, my best advice for this challenge is to get ahead early. I had a near 50-point lead going into the second half of the race of like the last endurance challenge. We'll just go check that out real quick. So yeah, in the 109, basically after the 50 mark, I had almost a 50-point lead going into that, and it never felt like enough. At any time, the game can screw you and cost you some major points. Just know you are in for a grueling task when you set out for the final endurance challenge. One tip I can give you, although I don't recommend it, is that if you think you are going to rank out, you can hard shut down the game. It won't register the current race you were on, and when you reopen the program, it should take you to the last race as if you had never started the previous one that you exited out of. Again, I don't recommend this because it can harm your system, corrupt your save file, or even crash your entire hard drive. But if it comes down to it, the choice is there for you to make. So yeah, that right there, 12 wasn't bad. Actually, I had more difficulty with the medium. It seemed to, I don't know, maybe it was just the time I was playing it. But the long one, it's no lie, it's long. So basically, what's nice is you can control some of the different things here. I think one thing I did read about this too is that if you are playing with a group of friends, it's only gonna get you the trophies for, I believe, the player that right here. So whatever player it has right there is gonna be the one getting the trophy. So if you guys are working together to unlock these, make sure to switch that around. And then here's some of the extras you unlocked. Real quick, mirror mode, it basically just flips the track so you're driving it the other direction. It's actually pretty tough. So we're going to turn on retro mode and take a look at that real quick. So it just adds the CRT effect, if you will, to the game. Kind of made me feel, like I mentioned earlier, it felt like I was playing Rad Racer or something like that. Really cool game, old school, one of my favorites in the arcade, on the console. Rad Racer, what was that one? Road Blasters, that was a great one in the arcade. Chase HQ, one of my top favorite games of all time. Racing status in the arcade, that is. But anyway, we'll put it on retro mode. Let you take a look. So something similar like that. It just, like I said, it kind of adjusts the screen. Go back and turn that off. But I do like when games do that, especially remakes. It's nice when they allow you to adjust that, put on screen filters, change the soundtrack. That's a really cool feature of this game. So yeah, other than completing tournament and endurance mode, there are a few other challenging trophies to obtain. One of the ones is comeback. It's win a race after running out of gas. Not super difficult, but timing is key. You need to know the distance you can go without running out of gas, or with running out of gas and still being able to finish the race, kind of like coasting in. But you know, it helps to have a spare nitro in your pocket, because if you don't judge it just right, you can boost that last bit. Because remember, you still have to place first to get the race. To get that trophy, you have to place first in the race. Okay, so one of the other ones that was hard to get was can't touch this. Win a race without hitting anything. While this trophy is self-explanatory, I found it easiest to complete on Sequoia National Park. I was also working on Living Legend and Transporter while going for this trophy. Living Legend is win 20 consecutive first place victories, and Transporter is win a race with every vehicle. At the point that I was going for that trophy, I had unlocked all but maybe the last few cars, so what I was doing is I was, you know, each race, if I hit something, I would just go haul out and place first, kind of thing. And then eventually got to the point where I didn't hit anything and I placed first and got all those trophies. It was great. So, and then, you know, when I went back to polish off Transporter, it was just that last car that I had to unlock by winning the final professional tour race there and getting gold on all those cups. So worked out really good. Like I said at the beginning, I wasn't sure if the new DLC was going to affect that trophy, so I just kind of rushed to get that done. If you guys are right there in the same boat waiting to kind of finish this and you're right there, maybe do that. Otherwise you might have to end up spending some money. Although I would highly recommend this game. It is totally worth paying money to get, and I'm sure the DLC is going to be fantastic. And then one of the other, we'll just go there now. One of the other, so Sequoia National Park is right here. I guess I should have, you know, elaborated on this into detail. Into the Woods is the actual track I used for to get these trophies, which was Can't Touch This and Supersonic. So Supersonic, what you want to do is you want to pick a car with high top speed and a high nitro. Also find a course that lets you go up to top speed and allows you to boost while going downhill. This part has a really good right around the corner. I'll show you. I'll just bust out that race real quick just to show you guys what that's all about. I've already got the trophy, but let's see if I can't get it done. So yeah, so use that course for both those trophies. So let's take a look. Get into the action. Alright, real quick, we're going to just take a look at some of these different cars. Most of them are kind of mundane. It's nice as you're going through to unlock some of the better cars. I used Orient for a while. Didn't really use Cable Guy. That movie with Jim Carrey. Anyhow, I liked this car. And one of the things too you're going to notice is that they did design some of these cars after classic cars that you would see in old movies, things like that. Dust Driver I used for a while right here. We got and you can change the color. So you know we've got the what's that movie, Pink Flamingo or whatever Cadillac movie that this one's from. You know, so they designed them after that. We've got the classic cars. I used Deja Vu a lot. That was a great car. Janis Joplin, Flower Power, gotta love it. See, there's just fun things about these old games, these retro-inspired games that they're bringing to the PS4. Madbot, Haze. So let's see, Zeus, high top speed, but the handling isn't the greatest, especially once you've completed all the upgrades. Most of these cars are usable, but when you're trying to use these in the other modes, it's tough because their handling is so terrible. This car was really fun, but has such a slow acceleration, and the cars are aggressive in this. They're always hitting you, and it's hard to get going. This is one you unlock from, I believe, the amateur, when you beat the amateur. So this car right here is a really good car to use for Supersonic. We'll pick that up here in a second, but as you can see, it has a high top speed, a high nitro. I think there's another car that has similar with a high top speed and nitro. I can't remember what it is, but this right here, Machina, this is the car that I basically won all the races with when I went back after I unlocked it. I think you have to get gold on every race in order to unlock this. I want to say that's how I got this one. I don't remember exactly because I did a couple of them procced at one time. I think I got these two cars at the same time, so I'm not sure which one it is. But anyhow, when you get gold on all the races, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get this wonderful machine right here, and I use that thing to go back and clean up every trophy that I hadn't done, both winning endurance and amateur, or sorry, the the professional circuit with that, with the tournament and endurance. And this right here, Knight Rider, baby. This was one of the mystery crate cars. This is what you unlock. Spoilers, when you get all super trophies, you get this card right here, and it is fantastic. I mean, obviously, it's cool. It's called the Knight Rider, but it's obviously the Batmobile. Unfortunately, wasn't really able to have much success with it because the handling is so poor, as far as in like, unlocking the rest of the trophies. And this, surprise spoilers, once you beat all the 109 endurance races, you unlock this dude, Francisco. Totally weird car. So it does help, but if you're not going for, if you're wanting to do that tournament first before you do endurance, you don't have to, I thought, I have to beat endurance to be able to beat these tournament races. Wasn't the case. It ended up being, going with good old trusty Makina over here. And then, of course, we need to go back to the future, baby. You unlock that car by beating the second level of the tournament. I forget what that one's called. You've got amateur, something, and professional. So whatever, or professional and then master. So yeah, I think that's the professional one. Pretty cool car. Again, it was, you're just going for style points here. A lot of these cars are the same. For me, it comes down to handling. I like to go fast around the corners. And then the fuzz. This one's pretty interesting. This is what you get finally when you beat the last master tournament, all gold cups. You unlock the fuzz. So that was pretty cool. I thought the pink one. So not too shabby. He's got some cool cars, and this is one of the DLC ones, and I'm sure there's more to come. So real quick, I'm just gonna pick that car and give you a glimpse as to, what do you think, hot pink? Yeah, let's go with hot pink. I'll give you a glimpses into what it is that you kind of need to do. I haven't played this game for a little bit. It's one of those ones you want to get warmed up on, and that is something I recommend as well, that if you're going to be doing those long endurance challenges and you have to take a break from doing them, which you probably will because that's a lot of races, you're going to want to do like a warm-up race to get yourself familiarized, maybe work on. I was kind of going back and forth between working on the endurance races and the working on those with the tournaments. So I'd warm up on the tournament and try to get a gold. If not, whatever, I'd move on, and then I'd go do some endurance races, because you can't, in that one, you cannot place fifth or lower or you're done. Doesn't matter how far you are in the race. And that was where I brought that tip in earlier, that I had said you could be useful in doing that. So here would be an example of where you want to do it. We're about full speed, and then you're going to want to go downhill and then boost again if I could. I'm not sure if I got up to 230. I think it's 230 there. I got close. But there are some cool crash mechanics. I really enjoy this game. At first, when I first played this, I wasn't entirely all that much sure about it. I kind of played it and went, well, I was hoping for something a little better, but I gave it a second chance. I went back and I was hooked. I could not stop playing this game until I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for the platinum. I was having so much fun playing it, and now I'm kind of in a game hole. I'm looking for another fun old school racing game to play like this, and I can't find one. I know there were some fun Midnight Clubs and Need for Speeds on PS2 Xbox era, so I need to go back and check on that. One of my favorite games of all time on Xbox was racing game was Outrun Coast to Coast. If you guys like racing games and you haven't played that game, you need to get it. It is excellent. But here, as you can see, you can switch between friends and global of the different times. So that's the fastest guy on that track right there. And again, so you get the coins and whatnot, so you'd want to get all those coins. It tells you what you need to get those trophies. Already done it. Already got all the coins. We're good to go. I think I'm going to just do one more race. I'm going to go to... Now, like I said, Australia has some very cool races, but I think I'm going to go... there's some different interesting tracks there. I think I'm going to go to the last race right here. Final challenge. This thing is really crazy. Like I said, if you guys haven't had a chance to play this game, pick it up. You've got a few more days to get it for free if you're a PS Plus member. Either way, it's a great buy. This is such a fun game. Retro gamers and racing game enthusiasts alike are going to enjoy this game. There's multiple play modes, tons of unlocks, and co-op. And it will keep you entertained and coming back for more. We're going to go and we're going to check this out. I want to say thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope this trophy guide is helpful for you to get that platinum. What it comes down to is will, want, desire. How bad do you want that trophy? If you enjoy playing this game, you're going to, it's not going to be that tough to get the platinum. You're probably going to play it enough to want to do that. Although some of it can be challenging. These, super trophies are tough, and then some of those other modes are very difficult. And they're just grindy, and you gotta just grind, right? So if you're into that, it's not too bad. Otherwise, we're gonna check this out right now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You've been hanging out with Brothers Forge Gaming. I hope this guide is helpful for you to get your trophies. Check us out. We got more guides coming. We'll see you on the next run.